This new Phil Mitchell storyline, is it going to be good or is it going to be bad? Is it going to be like the chicken curry at last Saturday night, good at the start, but rough coming out? Who knows? All this and more at 11. So yeah, this is about the new Phil storyline. Will it be good? Will it be bad? What's your thoughts on it, mate? 3, 2, 1. There you go.
I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, Phil, we always joke about it that Phil Mitchell doesn't really act outside of Christmas because he is an established fucking star. He's been on the show for, 33 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Roughly. So at this point, he doesn't need to be fucking talking about the price of milk. He doesn't need to be doing all the normal stuff. So him getting a big storyline, and it is a big storyline of something they previously teased, is very fucking interesting because the Mitchells have the code, right? Family is everything, especially the family name. You don't fuck with the Mitchells. If someone fucks with you, you fuck with them. It's no matter what. We've seen it more recently with Teddy, kind of taking up that mantle as the not head of the table as such, but he'd like to believe he is, and it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's going to lead to a bit of a power struggle. But I mean, obviously, him over the last year, he ratted out Billy as to Keeble, who was going to try set him up for her dad's murder at the hands of it was probably Eric. Let's be honest, it's probably Eric who shot him. I'm 90% sure. So he wasn't on great terms with Billy. He then kind of struggled to help him out when Lola died and was never really emotionally available for him. And, you know, he's always had a frosty relationship with Honey. So in the end, Phil was kind of burning bridges. He's not really a big fan of the new Mitchells. He had a big vendetta against Stevie and was trying to do his best to try and keep him on the outs, which clearly didn't work as he endeared himself to everybody else. So, and Billy has kind of risen in stature in a sense with his brother being here. Now he's kind of more of he's no longer treated as the lackey. He's treated as an actual kind of important piece of the Mitchells. Sam left. Kat left him because he cheated on her with Emma. Denise was living at Phil's for a little bit with Raymond, but because Phil can't regulate his fucking emotions and talk about his feelings, he yelled at Raymond, and suddenly Denise goes, I can't fucking believe you. I'm leaving. Nice, good luck having contact with your son. Sharon has basically not let Phil be a part of his life since Keanu died. And obviously Ben left earlier in the year as he is in America serving a charge for fraud.
Card fraud.
I think credit card fraud. Yeah. So
Gotta use PayPal.
this leaves, and obviously Louise left in like 2021 when Keanu died. So it's all of the pieces around Phil have been falling. He's not very good with new people. He's not very good at the tried and tested people that he's known for years. And he's always generally on the outs. And earlier in the year, we saw Phil Mitchell look. He was sat at the head of his table, and just similar to like Derek Branning would have been back in in 2012. If Derek Branning looked at the rest of his table and he didn't see his family there, he'd be fucking mortified. So Phil was feeling awful. He cried. He punched the fucking door. He cried his little heart out because he realized he's made himself lonelier and lonelier. Everybody who he thought he was close with is gone. You know, Peggy's dead. Sam fucked off because she wanted money from him. Ben's gone. Louise is long gone. All his kids are like young, so they don't really know him. So this leaves Phil by himself. And let's be honest, there's a reason why Ben's so fucked up, and it's because Phil doesn't know how to talk about his fucking feelings. Then they announced the Phil Mitchell loneliness storyline. And as, you know, the title suggests, it could be one of the best. Because it's an interesting thing, because loneliness, especially in like men over the age of 40, in the UK specifically, it's a pretty hotbed of these are the most of the people who were born 40 years ago are still raised by the parents of the war and, you know, the kind of baby boomers. And even just in the UK specifically, or England, it's that whole stiff upper lip, don't talk about your feelings, don't talk about your feelings. No one wants to know about your feelings. So he's never been able to do it. And Phil's only outlet has been drinking. That's the only way he that is the only way he deals with his emotions. So it'll be interesting to see Phil do a really good job of acting. As obviously it'll ramp up, it'll peak at Christmas. You'd have to imagine so. And you know, with the 40th anniversary coming up, is there a chance that Grant comes back? Phil's off the rails. He doesn't know who to look to. He's lost everyone. Grant comes back for a week and kind of puts the pieces back together, talks him through it, helps him talk about his emotions. You know, will he reunite with an old love? Will he reunite with Sharon? Will he reunite with Kat? Will he reunite with any of his former lovers? Reunite with Kathy, maybe? Fuck it, why not? But I do genuinely believe that this storyline has the potential to be a really good one, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. What about you, mate?
I'll read some of the comments, I guess.
Write your opinion first.
Ho ho ho. I'm looking forward to this storyline. I know I say that about every storyline, but I think Phil or Steve McFadden could nail alone in this storyline. I think it will be interesting to see how he goes about it, because obviously they could do the campy one where all his family like bully him and shit. Well, not bully him, but are like, "We're here, mate," and he's like, "No."
Just everybody just comically just ignores him.
Pretend that he's dead.
And I mean, also, I suppose it could peak with Phil trying to commit suicide. It could. It's dark. It's very dark.
I know it's.
But it could genuinely happen.
I know rumours that someone is supposedly died on Christmas Day. I'm not saying Phil should die. I'm not saying that. But what I would do is I would have him. How can I say this in a nice way? I'd have him walk the train tracks and try and see him get hit. Like, he wants to get hit by a tube, basically. That's what's in London, is this tube?
Yeah, wants to get hit by a tram, wants to get hit by a train.
Yeah,
or the tube.
And then obviously, like fucking Teddy comes up and it's like, Phil, come on, mate. But if you realistically can, you obviously get Grant, who's just over there for a flying visit. But yeah, I'd have Phil like trying to commit suicide. It's very dark, and I know it's weird saying I want a fictional character to kill themselves. Wouldn't that be great TV? But
like, no, I do understand. Like, it's not. We're not saying it out of like some sick sadistic pleasure. Like, oh yeah, go on, Phil, go on,
like, tighten that
get up there.
Tighten
but
that
like,
noose.
You know, the lengths that it would cover, right? The genuinely serious material it would show. Because, like I said, Phil's been through a lot of shit. Been through a lot of trauma. And most of the people he's loved are either dead or gone. So now he's kind of left by himself. He's never really been the best company for himself, drinking himself to death. Like, you know, there are levels it can go to. But you want Phil to be a big piece of Christmas 2024 and the 40th anniversary, as at this point between him and Ian Beale, they are your two biggest like characters. They are two biggest, and Sharon, I guess. But they are your two biggest legacy characters. So it's I don't know. I do think it has the potential to be really good. I think it has the potential to be one of the best. Has the potential to win a lot of awards. And I think it has the potential to kind of remind everybody what Steve McFadden's capable of.
I will read the comments now. This is by big explanation again. 831. This new Phil storyline will be good. Upcoming storyline, the pressure storyline will show off Steve's acting chops, as he's better at issue-based storylines than gangster ones. I also think it suits Phil's character as he has no personality and is miserable slash aggressive. Why would you want to be around him? And
Yeah.
then someone chimes in and says, "I'm calling it now, a Dixon subplot on Christmas Day where depressed Phil snubs Billy offer of joining the rest of the family for Christmas. Just instead flicking through the channels from his armchair, but eventually swallows his pride and joins them for dinner." You know what I
mean,
do? And
mhm.
I understand you go, oh, he's bringing this up again. I do. I archived. I'm going to say archived. You got archived lines of Peggy and you chop them together saying, "Go on, Phil. Join them." Like, he flicks through the channel and just sees Peggy, if that makes sense. He's slowly delusional. So he just sees his mother and she's like, "Go on, Phil." That's all she says. Just go on, Phil. Join them. And then obviously he joins them. Like, his mother is the one who helps him see it through. Because that's
Yeah.
what most men would do. I know it would be very
I mean,
hard.
it's like the light in the darkness, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm going to say it's very hard to do. They probably have archival footage of Barbara Windsor they can do from when she was doing outtakes, like from 40 years
Yeah.
ago. But that's what I'd do, or because I think it'd be a nice thing to do. Like, he's depressed. You're not going to get Grant back, but you can somewhat get Barbara Windsor back, somewhat. And I think it'd be a nice like Christmas moment of like he sees
I
his
mean,
mom.
you could alternatively do the Christmas Carol approach, right? Where he gradually, not just Christmas cheer, but like with life in general, where he's clearly just miserable, he's depressed, he doesn't want to do anything, he doesn't want to see anyone. And obviously, by the end of Christmas Carol, he quickly realizes if he's going to do this, he's going to live a very fucking miserable existence and just fucking die. So, you could have, like, I don't ever want to see drunk Phil again, but you could easily have him fall off the wagon, but have him kind of gradually piece together the remains of what he has and realize that what he has is still good. And then you could just full Christmas Carol it.
See, what I'd like.
Where in the end he's like cheery and goes to see Billy and goes over there for Christmas. Lets Billy sit at the head of the table, like, all that sort of shit.
What I want to see is just on Christmas Day, someone like is kicking a ball outside his house, and he just goes over with a knife and stabs the ball. Just fuck off, trying to sleep. Fucking noisy kids on Christmas Day. Like, just him being a massive Grinch. Yeah, but I wouldn't mind that. Like, I wouldn't mind like a kind of Ghost like Christmas Past. Because alternatively, if you can't get Peggy, you can try and get Louise and Ben and someone else. Like, they're probably more realistic.
You could also get any of his ex-wives in a way. You could have him thinking about you could have him thinking about like, the woman who he's messed up with, and maybe he's feeling remorseful and he wants to make up for, cheating on them or ruining their lives in a sense, and he kind of goes through a bit of like tries to seek them out, and it'd be a good bit of fan service to kind of have him revisit what went wrong. But like, I don't know, there's just a lot of really good material you could use.
Yeah, like there's a lot of ways you can go about it, but reading on, I was just thinking the same. I'd love to see that. I see Phil in an old-fashioned nighty and hat. Some Ghost of Christmas Past would be a fun run up to the 40th. That'd be plenty of fun. A lot of the candle to light his way to bed because he's no longer getting the winter fuel allowance. Do you know what? And I'm gonna say it. I get fuel allowance. I actually get it. So yeah, up the government.
Flex him your pennies.
I get 35 quid for fuel allowance. Woo. And on a double week, it's 60 quid. Sadly. No, like, yeah. Is that, no, actually, no, he's 3 years away, yeah. So he can't claim his pension just yet. I actually don't know which answer would shock me more, thanks. Oh my god, Ash, I need this one. Someone said the Muppets need to be involved somewhere. The fucking Muppets. OG poster mentioned Billy's involvement. Do Bart and Ernie count? They do count because they are part of Sesame Street. So they're like cousins, I think, of the Muppets. Hang on a minute, this could be spot on, and that's what we see Linda's funeral. Ghost of a Christmas Future.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a pretty interesting take. It would explain why they're all at a funeral. I don't think that. I mean, I think there's also a good parallel to be drawn between Linda and Phil in this time of both needing to be sober for their family, for their future, and for their like personal health. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just there's so much good stuff you could do with it. That's the impressive bit to me.
I welcome anything that humanizes Phil. This makes sense to the storyline because of over the years he went from being the nice familial brother and Sharon Turlington in the first place while married to Grant and being quite general. He's bitter old gangster Phil and often isolated from the rest of the square outside of his family. I've liked his friendship with George and the support he showed Alfie during his cancer storyline. I want more of that building on friendships in the future. And maybe this storyline can be a stepping stone to that. Phil does seem like a great mate to have, though, as like if you're
I
struggling.
don't know.
Well, no, I mean nice Phil, not fucking evil Phil. I mean like Phil that was there for Alfie during his cancer storyline. He was like, "You alright, bro?"
Yeah,
Like he seems.
I don't know. He just seems like a fucking bellend. He just seems like a prick to be around. Like he'd just suddenly flip on you one day. He'd be like, "Oh, this is really nice. Yeah, yeah, this is great," and then suddenly he's just being a dickhead to you because he's angry at something else. Like, nah,
And I think that's where we
nah.
leave it off. I think that's enough of reading the comments. Unless Ash finds any more that is funny. Um, I don't think so. Yeah. So thank you for watching. We hope you enjoy. Have a Merry Christmas and may the three ghosts of watching Walford come see you at some point.